NXT took place tonight in its home of Orlando, Florida, at the WWE Performance Center. We started the show off with Miles Bourne, who is the number one contender to the NXT Championship, and the no-quarter catch crew in the ring. Miles was talking about being partially deaf, and you can obviously tell by the way he's talking. He says he's been fighting for everyone with a disability. He gets a standing ovation from the fans. Ethan Page interrupts. He challenges Miles to put a shot on the line against him. Charlie Dempsey basically convinces Miles Bourne to take the offer, and Ava comes out and confirms the match. But first, she announces Charlie Dempsey is wrestling, and it's not a surprise because he's in his gear. And he's facing Obafemi. Not much to say here. Obafemi wins. We all know he would. I guess the whole thing is building up to Charlie Dempsey potentially turning on Miles Bourne at Battleground. But I'm thinking to myself, does that really need to happen? Because Obafemi's going to win regardless. No one in the world thinks Miles Bourne's going to beat Obafemi, at least right now. Not now, but I just get the impression that this match, it's being built really not about the champion Obafemi, but is Dempsey going to either cost Miles Bourne the match, or is he going to turn on him after the match, or potentially NXT following Battleground? But clearly the gears are in motion for that to happen. We go backstage to see Carmen Petrovich and Thea Hale walking, and then they find Tatum Paxley going nuts. She's throwing stuff around. She mentioned how she's all alone and they're not, and she has no friends, and obviously she's indirectly referring to her former tag team partner, Gigi Dolan, who was released a couple weeks ago now. She really misses Gigi. She's sad. They can't mention Gigi's name, but I kind of miss Gigi too in a way. It's too bad. I've been watching her on NXT for so many years, and it's too bad. You realize, wow, I'm never going to see her on NXT again, because she's been around for 4 years on that show with since she came in with Toxic Attraction. And it's too bad, but the Don was out next. He went to the ring for his match with Wesley. Ricky Saints backstage confronts Ethan Page. They have a back and forth. This would play in later to the show as their feud's going to continue. Troy D'Angelo and Wesley was next. It was just a standard match. Wesley, he's been NXT for so long, and I'm thinking to myself, they got to do something with both these guys, because they've been in NXT both for 4 years now or something. Troy D'Angelo's been around forever. I don't think he's going to do anything on the main roster, especially with the family splitting. As for Wesley, I'm not sure what he's going to do with the main roster. He's very small, and I'm thinking to myself, man, are they going to keep these guys in NXT forever? NXT's filled with so many people who've been there for so long, and it's just only a select number of people even get called up to the main roster, and the main roster itself is bloated. So Stax arrived at Rizzo's house during the match, and we saw that on the screen. This causes Tony D'Angelo to get distracted, and Wesley hits a kick and gets the win. And then Tony then heads to the exit, and we see Stax supposedly outside of Rizzo's home. We see Stephanie Vaquer walking towards the ring, and I'm just going to say it right now, this was the best part of the show, best part of the week. Stephanie was wearing black leggings, and she had a white fishnet with a red bra and showing a lot of cleavage. It's very replayed on social media right now. Stephanie Vaquer, I think she's everyone's dream girl at the moment. So we get an NXT focus on OTM. I mean, who gives a fuck? Stephanie is showing some cleavage, as I said. She heads to the ring, and then she talks about Jordynne Grace for a bit, and it seemed like her English was a bit off tonight, but her opponent's Jordynne Grace, and then she's interrupted by Fatal Influence, which is Fallon Henley and JC Jane. Noticeably no Jasmine Nex. I don't know what that means, but Fallon and JC at first go after Stephanie, saying stuff to her, but then they start arguing with each other. The whole thing's doing a split with them, and I guess you don't need Jasmine out because they're going to split Fatal Influence anyways right now. And I'm thinking whoever loses that feud, I think it's going to be JC. It's probably not long for this company. And JC, I mean, she's been in NXT since 2020. Something's got to happen. The segment was just awkward. Jordynne Grace came out next, and there was stuff where Stephanie Vaquer, I think she missed her lines, and I thought everyone here was just off on the segments. This whole show felt like a nothing show to me. No other quarter catch crew is there backstage. Charlie Dempsey's still banged up, and Miles Bourne tells him he can't come to the match tonight because he's too banged up, and he goes out alone, and clearly they're doing the turn. We just don't know when. Backstage, we go to the cafeteria, and we see Undertaker, who's there, randomly in NXT again, along with Bubba Ray Dudley, congratulating two chicks for going to the finals of the LFG show. I don't watch the show, but just two random girls. And then we see a whole bunch of NXT women all show up too. First, it's Izzy Dame and Nikita Lyons. I don't know why Nikita's still... what are they going to do with her? And then you have Lash Legend arrives and Lola Vice, who they're not doing anything with. They're pushing the hell out of her last year. Now they don't do anything with Lola. This whole thing was totally awkward. The lines are off. So it's just such a weird show. So much stuff was off. I don't know. Maybe the NXT talent's still a little... Maybe they're on edge because of all the talent releases. Some of their friends got cut and they're not focused. I don't know. This was just some of the stuff. Both the segments with the women are just so awkward. They didn't come off well on TV at all. It was almost like NXT beginner stuff you'd see like on that 2.0 show 4 years ago, or even when NXT was first starting, like in its early years of being a TV show. You had all those awful segments. It's just awkward, man. It's not that good. It's usually the segments are better than this. Tony D'Angelo is getting in his car to go check on Rizzo. Stax, he found her safe house. Then we go to Ethan Page and Miles Bourne. This was okay, not a bad matchup here. Ethan Page, they're trying to build up as a major heel still. It just feels like, what's he really going to do now? I think it's almost time for him just to go to the main roster, because how much more is he going to do in NXT past this Ricky Saints feud? Miles Bourne won the match as we all expected. So... it just sets up Miles, trying to build him up for the match with Oba, which he's going to lose. Anyway, Javon Evans was backstage with Shanti Adonis. I'm thinking, why is he still here? Why wasn't he cut? I'd rather have him cut than someone like Cora Jade. But anyway, they're arguing. Ricky Saints was there too. It sets up a match with Javon Evans and Ashanti Adonis. The winner faces Ricky Saints. I think that was the whole goal. And it's going to be after Battleground, so I guess he faces Ethan again at Battleground. And then Ricky will face Javon Evans, obviously, later. Thea Hale's out next for her match. They show the Dawn, Tony D'Angelo arriving at the safe house where Adriana Rizzo is. Then he's only jumped, he's set up because he's jumped by Stax Lorenzo in the front yard. Stax beats him up with a pipe, I believe, or a crowbar. He leaves him laying in the front yard, and it sets up their match at Battleground. I almost feel like it needs a step in a way. Next, we had Thea Hale and Tatum Paxley. We saw Jada Parker backstage watching the matchup. They're not doing much with Jada. She doesn't have much direction right now. Thea won after Tatum got disqualified. Tatum continues to attack her after the match, trying to get heat on her, making her the crazy girl again. She was better off in that tag team with Gigi and Shotzi in that trio, but she's not doing much right now. In the locker room, we see Jada Parker, Zeri, and Sol Ruka talking, and then Kalani Jordan walks in. Jada then leaves. Then it sets up Kalani and Zarya having a confrontation, and eventually Zarya agrees to have a number one contenders match. The winner faces Sol Ruka. I thought that was a number one contenders match. Zarya already beat Kalani, and she faces Sol, because the whole thing was Kalani was upset that Zarya speared her through a barricade, which is legal, but it sets up a match next week between the two of them. Kalani, I assume, wins the match. They do some preview for a Battleground. We go backstage. Ava Rain's doing a contract signing with Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. They both signed a contract. It was different. It was just more of them talking about their careers, and it's like this quiet thing, and it was almost like a video promo, and I kind of liked it. I actually dug it. I preferred it from the usual, in which there's someone in the ring, and then there's a big table bomb, something I've seen a million times in my life. I kind of liked that they did did it like this, and I didn't mind it. And it sets up the match. It's the TNA Championship. Joe Hendry defending against Trick Williams at Battleground. Hank and Tank are talking to Josh Briggs backstage. He's still sad that his partner in Nomura is gone, and then we see Sean Spears there trying to recruit him. Josh declines it. So we see Ava backstage talking to the Chase U guys, and they have a tag team match next week against the returning OTM. And then when Andre Chase hears, he says, "What the?" And they bleep the F with the Chase U logo. I don't think it's a big deal, really. I think I like the whole thing with Chase U under. Chase is just going to be an NXT lifer like Sean Spears, and he'll stay in NXT forever basically, and then he'll just once he's in NXT, I think he's just going to have new people join Chase U, and there's always going to be graduations and stuff like that, and they graduate when they go to the main roster. They preview next week's show, and then they have Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vaquera against Fallon Henley and JC Jane. As I said, no Jasmine Nix. The match was just okay. They have to do something with Fallon and JC. Feels like, what else are they going to do? Fallon, I felt like should have been called up to the main roster last year probably. JC, it just seems like, I don't know what else to really do with her. It might not be the best decision that people like, because I don't know what else are they going to use them for? They're just going to be enhancement talents forever in NXT. I don't know. Anyway, Jordan Grace pins JC Jane, and then they had Jordan and Stephanie Vaquera staring at each other down after the win. The announcers preview Battleground again, and then we see Jordan Grace raising Stephanie Vaquera's hand. She looks at her. They tease a turn. Then immediately they go backstage to see Ethan Page has assaulted Ricky Saints backstage. That sets up another match between them. And then the show just ends with Vaquera and Jordan Grace. So that was NXT this week. Very much a filler show. As I said with Raw was a filler show. NXT was more of a filler show. Nothing much happened here tonight. Just nothing much showed. Battleground looks average. I mean, Stand and Deliver looked like a big show. And the show before that, Vengeance Day, all felt so much bigger. Battleground just looks like such a B-level NXT PLE. I don't even know why they even have to do it, to be honest. They should just delay it. Wait to do it until June. Because then what are they going to do after that? I think there's going to be a big wait for the next PLE after Battleground, but I'm really not that excited. NXT really has been pretty cold. This was a cold week for NXT, a filler show. Nothing much happening this week. I'm not going to lie, guys.